Alright, let's get started with our Microbit electric guitar coding. Okay, today's project is a bit tricky to code, so please listen and watch carefully. Alright, so let's start by creating a new project. Okay, let's call today's project Guitar for short. Don't forget to add your name at the back, so I know that this is your work. Okay, now today we're not going to use on start, we're going to use forever. Okay, so let's delete this. Okay, I'm also going to pull out another forever block. And I'm also going to pull out another block to start. Input on pin press. Pull out on pin press. Change it to pin P1. Okay, on P1 press. So when you press P1, something should happen. Okay, now let's start with the first forever block. Okay, we're going to create a guitar that has moving light levels, okay, or moving LED patterns. So for this, we're going to go to LED. We're going to pull out a very big code block, plot bar graph of 0 up to 0. Bring this out, put it under the first forever block. Okay, it's going to be a bit squeezy, so you might need to rearrange your code blocks. Okay, plot bar graph of, we're going to pull a light level block. Go to input. Microbit can actually sense the light level. So we're going to look for a light level button. Pull it out. Put it into the first 0 here. Plot bar graph of light level. Okay, so the graph that Microbit plots here, the LEDs, is according to how much light it senses. Okay, up to, okay, what value do we want? Let's do a maximum brightness, 255. Okay, what we learned before. Okay, and let me just test this out to show you. Okay, currently now our light level is 128, so it's half the lights. What happens if the light level goes up? Do you see that? So as the light changes, the LED bar graphs also changes. Okay, alright, so this is how the bar graph will actually work. Okay, now let's move on. We're going to create an on-off switch whenever pin 1 is pressed. And once we do the complete setup, we realize that pin 1 actually connects to the metal parts of the guitar. So when we press the metal parts that touch pin 1, it will actually on the guitar. Okay, so let's code this out. We're going to go to variables, create a variable called on. Okay, this is our on switch. And we're going to pull out the block set on to 0, put it under P1. Okay, on pin P1 press, set on to, we're going to add something here. We're going to go to logic. Okay, scroll all the way down. We're going to look for a Boolean not block. Okay, this is, we're going to code actually an off switch. All right, not. And what goes inside this hole here? Go back to variables, put our on inside the hole. Okay, on pin P1 press, set on to not on. Okay, so whenever I touch pin 1, it might either off, or if I touch it again, it might on. Okay, now let's continue on to the forever block, the second one. I'm going to just shift my screen here. Okay, this is a bit tricky. We're going to pull out a conditional, logic, if true then else. Okay, bring this out, put it under forever. All right, okay, we are going to pull out our variable on again. Put it into the first true box here. Okay, if our program is on, then I want it to start playing music and beat the tempo. Okay, so for today's project, we need to use music blocks. Okay, look carefully. I'm going to pull out a very big block. Set tempo. Okay, right at the bottom, set tempo, put it here. After this, I am going to pull out another music block, Playtone. Okay, so set tempo means set the beat. Playtone sets the tone or the pitch. Okay, and I'm also going to pull out another music block called rest. Okay, so that if our Microbit guitar is on, then it will start to play and beat. Else, if it's off, it will rest. Okay, now let's change some of the values here. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to change the beat count for Playtone to 1/4. Rest, I'm going to leave it at 1. Okay, now, very tricky part. What kind of tempo are we setting to? Well, remember when we went through the lesson, our tempo or the beat will depend on how fast we shake or tilt the Microbit guitar. Okay, so for today, we're going to use a very special block. Go to Advanced. Look for this block called Pins. Okay, all right, we're going to look for a really big block. Pull out this giant map block. Okay, this is a bit tricky, but just be careful. Pop it into the 120 tempo. Okay, 120, pop it there. All right, yes, it's going to be very big today. It's a big project. Okay, now what kind of tempo are we setting? We are going to change some of the values first. From low 0, from high 1, 0, 2, 3, we're going to leave this here, to low 60. All right, so this is the beat count, to high 120. Okay, so this is the lowest beat. This is the highest beat or highest tempo. Okay, all right. Now, what are we going to do for map? Okay, we're going to pull out an absolute math block. So go to math, pull out an absolute block, put it into the map 0 here. Okay, now what goes into the other 0? Absolute of what? We are going to pull out the acceleration block. Okay, so go to input. Remember, Microbit has an accelerometer, so it can sense acceleration. Okay, we're going to pull this out, put it into the 0. Okay, absolute of acceleration y. Okay, so that when we tilt our Microbit guitar up and down, it will actually sense the tilt and it will change the beat according to how fast we tilt. Okay, so that's our acceleration. All right, now the rest you can ignore. Okay, now what about the Playtone block? Okay, instead of middle C, we are going to make the tone change depending on the light level. Okay, so for this, we're going to pull out a math block. We're going to use a multiplication. Okay, put it into middle C, something times something. We're going to change the second 0 to 25. Okay, and the first 0, we're going to pull out an input light level. Okay, so this means our guitar will play a tone depending on the light level, okay, for 1/4 beat. So depending on how much light there is here, the tone will change, whether it's high or low. Okay, so that's all for today's code. I'm going to zoom out to let you have a look. It's a bit tricky, so you got to be careful how you put in your blocks. Okay, let me just do a quick read through one more time. Forever, plot bar graph of light level up to 255. On pin P1 press, set on to not on. Forever, if on, then set tempo to map, absolute of acceleration y, from low 0, from high 1023 to low 60 to high 120. Playtone, light level times 25 for 1/4 beat, else if it's off, rest for 1 beat. Okay, once you're done, play with your guitar. You might have to press P1. Okay, shake it and see what happens. Play with the light level. Okay, it's quite fun, but you will have more fun when we actually come back to school to test it. Okay, remember just to on and off, use the P1 switch. Alright, okay, once you're done, download your project or take a photo of your code, upload your work to eCampus, okay, and enjoy today's project.